Welcome back to The Productive Life. I'm really excited for today's episode because at the very end of March, I went from a brand new idea for a course to creating it, launching it, and getting the first sale of that course in less than 27 hours. Now, this is not normally a standard I try to do. There were a lot of circumstances around this, but there were also a lot of intentional things I did differently so that I could get this from idea to launched and ready for purchase in such a short timeline. I actually asked on Instagram as well as in a private class that I'm in, or private program, about what questions you had. So I'm actually answering all the different questions I got and getting really nitty gritty on the timeline and all of it. So let's jump in. Welcome to the Productive Life podcast hosted by me, Megan Minns. This is the podcast for entrepreneurs who want to be more productive in their business and their personal life. Because as a business owner, your business and personal life are connected, and we can't talk about one without talking about the other. Each week, you'll learn about productivity, organization, personal development, self-care, business strategies, and more. And now, let's get started. Okay, so March 31st of this year, in the morning, I had an idea for a new course that I felt like was extremely timely. And at 11 a.m. that day, I decided, let's do it. The very next day, April 1st, at 1:45 p.m., I made the first sale. And in that time, I outlined the course, recorded the videos, built it out in my membership site, created the sales page and checkout page, set up the enrollment and onboarding, sent out an email to my list, added it to my website, and rolled out an affiliate program. And I didn't work in the evening. So on March 31st, I stopped working at 5, had a full night of sleep, didn't work any earlier than normal the next day, and I even had coaching calls. And it's not a fluffy course. It's a nitty-gritty, technical training-based course. And I share this not because I think this is some grand accomplishment to strive for, but because I knew I wanted it to happen quickly, and I was able to. The circumstances lined up perfectly for me to be able to do that, and I just did things differently than I normally do. So I'm going to share all about this. But again, before I get in, I don't need to feel like this is some stamp of approval or a stamp of achievement that like you need to be able to launch things this quickly. I probably will never try to launch something this quickly again, but I want to walk you through this so that you can learn some of the things I did that I think are really helpful, even when you are creating a course and launching something new in a much more reasonable timeline. I would still recommend you make these shifts the first time you're launching anything to make it as easy for yourself as possible, because I have launched and created a lot of different programs since I started my business in 2014. And the one thing I've learned is the first version of your course will never be the final version. The first version of your sales page will never be the final sales page. So we'll be getting into some of that right now. So let's dig in. So if you aren't familiar with what course I'm even talking about, on April 1st, I launched a new course called Simple Online Business Setup. Not the most creative name, but I like my name simple. And it does exactly what it says it does. It teaches you how to set up a brand new online business technically, like the technical side of it. So I don't necessarily get into like finding a niche and the marketing and how to create your service. I'm talking about how to buy a domain, how to hook that domain up to your website, how to set up a business email address using Gmail and G Suite, how to start collecting payments from people, how to host your new course or your new digital product, how to have an opt-in form on your website. So it's all of those basic technical pieces. And I actually had the idea for this exact course in 2016. I actually had a whole business model planned out in 2016 with all these different things I was going to launch, and this was one of them. And it never ended up happening. I never went forward with it, but I had the idea. And then a year or two ago, my sister, Natalie, decided she wanted to start an Instagram account and start a website and start blogging and kind of do some business things. And she was asking me all those same questions that you've probably asked yourself, or you've had people ask you if you're an online business owner, which is, how do I do this? Where should I get a website? Like, what's an opt-in form? Why do I need it? How do I collect money from people? How do I do any of this? How do I get a Gmail? All those questions. And at that time, I was really reminded of why I wanted to make this course, because I had to piecemeal other people's, like one random YouTube video over here, one blog post over here, a help article. I had to like create all of this for her and just give her a bunch of links and a bunch of info, and I had multiple calls trying to help her out. And I was like, why is this so like complicated? Like, there's just not an easy solution for this. And yet again, I still didn't create this course. And then with everything happening right now with COVID-19, I started to get an influx of people in my life, friends who are starting businesses, people who are just emailing me or DMing me, even online business owner friends of mine who are having people ask them. I felt like there was this week of just everyone being like, hey, how do I do this? How can I do this? Asking all those same questions again. And on March 31st, that morning, I was finally starting to think like, maybe I should do that course. Maybe I should actually make this. Seems like a good time to do that. Everyone's asking these questions. And my friend Mariah Cause sent me a message like right then and said, hey, do you have anything? My sister's asking me all these same questions. And I was like, okay, we're doing this. We're just going to make this. And I don't even know if it's going to be something I offer forever, but I feel like it needs to happen right now. So at 11 a.m. on March 31st, that decision was made. I said, okay, I'm doing it. Let's make this course. And the reason I made the decision to do it that day, and the reason I knew I could do it so quickly, was because it was one of those rare circumstances where that day, March 31st, I was actually about to start a brand new project. The whole day was blocked off. I didn't have any calls that day. It was time to start a new project. There was so much positive energy around this new course. I knew I could do it quickly. This stuff is my zone of genius. I know it like the back of my hand. I knew just sharing my screen, technical trainings, that's pretty easy. I don't need to make Google Docs or a lot of supplemental information to accompany the videos. And honestly, it just seemed like a lot of potential. It seemed like it would really be a helpful thing to offer right now. And I really was looking for ways to be helpful to my community during this time. And since I wasn't in the middle of a project, throwing this in, knowing it would just take a day, really didn't throw off my actual project plans. I knew I could still get everything done for the week that I wanted to. So it was just the perfect storm of opportunity. I was very excited, felt like a hell yes intuitively. The timing was there, and it was my zone of genius. So I knew creating it would be easy. So 11 a.m., we went forward. I say we, it was me. I went forward with it. And so from about 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. approximately, I went in depth and created the exact outline and the steps I was going to walk people through. Since this was all about the technical trainings, and I haven't even done the technical setup, haven't made a new G Suite account or a new Squarespace account in years. So I was like, I know I need to spend a little bit of extra time really going through the entire process before I record anything to make sure that I give people the easiest process, the most streamlined, the most cost-effective as well. Like, what's the right combination of software to be as cost-effective as possible? How can we get savings? Because if you use a Squarespace annual payment, you get a year of G Suite for free. So there were little things like that. So I spent 2 hours really getting nitty-gritty and figuring out the right steps and the exact combination that I was officially going to recommend in the course. So this was really detailed. And during this time, I actually had my membership site open and I was creating the lessons. So I knew exactly what the steps were, what each lesson was going to contain, the outcome for each lesson. And I did all of that during this 2-hour window. Then I took a little bit of a break to eat lunch. And then from about 2 to 5 p.m., definitely done by 5, but from 2 to 5 p.m., I recorded all the videos. Since this was a technical training, I pre-recorded the videos. I wouldn't say you need to pre-record content for anytime you're going to launch something new. I like to pre-sell things most of the time, but I don't love teaching tech tutorials live. I didn't want to teach this live. I knew I wanted it to be pre-recorded. So that was a decision I made for this course. But even when I record videos for programs down the line, like right now, any of the programs I do, I actually record all the videos through Loom. It's so easy, and it really removes the layer of perfectionism that I tend to bring when I'm recording a video in ScreenFlow or a more technical training. It just weighs me down. So Loom makes it really easy. I can pause something if I need to. Like I can pause the video while I'm recording it if I need to cough or take a drink. But by recording it in Loom, I remove all editing. I don't edit any of those videos. And for this course, I also hadn't even gotten ready, hadn't put any makeup on. So I was like, you know what? Let's turn the camera off. Let's use Loom and let's just have no editing. And we have, we know exactly what we're going to do and we're just going to do it. And if we stutter, we're just going to take a pause and re-clarify and everyone will understand. So those were some of the decisions I made before I even pressed play or record on a new video. And I knew I was just going to follow the steps exactly. And I was going to ditch perfectionism. So that's exactly what I did. So I knew step 1 is this. Okay, let's record on Loom. We're going to go ahead and do that. Recording is done. And as soon as I was done recording that video, I actually took the embed code straight from Loom and embedded that into my membership site. I didn't even go through the process of downloading it from Loom and uploading it to my membership site, which I think is worth doing in the long run, but I knew I just needed this done quickly. And Loom is great at just hosting the video for you. You can change the settings when you're embedding it so that no one can comment on it or, all the things you can do in Looms. Just removed all of those, embedded it into the course site after I was done. So it was literally record, embed, record, embed. So by the time I was done recording at 5 p.m. and I'd finished all the videos, the entire course was built out because all the videos were there. And I already had all the links I needed while I was recording. So I'd drop any resources or links in there while I was doing it. It was so easy. And again, because this is a technical training based course, there's not a ton of Google Docs and supplemental resources. It's a lot of links to, here's the Squarespace link and here's a coupon code for Squarespace. And here's this great blog post that someone else did about Squarespace. So it wasn't I had to create a lot of extra resources. It was more of just curating the right resources for each lesson. And I already had those available because I used them when I was recording. So yeah. So from 12 to 5, the entire course was done. And at 5 p.m., I remember specifically being done before 5 o'clock because I had a call with my mastermind group. So I was done for the day, and that was a hard stop for me. Okay, so that was March 31st. So I went from idea to the course is done from about 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. roughly. So like I said, I was done at 5 p.m. the night before, had a full night of sleep, woke up normally on April 1st, had a coaching call that morning. So from 10 to 11, I was doing a client call. So from about, I would say 8 to 10, maybe 8:30 to 10, and then 11 until 12:30, I was setting up all the other stuff. So I was doing the sales page and all the onboarding and enrollment tech. So what I did to make this as easy as possible was I used lead pages for my landing pages and sales pages. So I just duplicated a sales page I used for another offer, and I just kept all the sections the same, and I just replaced the copy. And I think I changed 1 or 2 graphics, but I literally kept almost everything else the same. So that made creating the sales page really easy. Then in ConvertKit, I wanted to have a welcome email. So I duplicated a welcome email from another course and just tweaked the copy. Then I did the finishing touches in my membership site, naming it and adding the thumbnail and actually making that so people can enroll in it. And then I use Zapier to connect my different softwares together. So I duplicated a Zap that sends people from Thrivecart to Thinkific and all that good stuff. So I just duplicated that and updated the information, did a quick test of it all, and it all worked. So during that time, I was just really using what I already have and duplicating things versus starting from scratch, which saved me so much time. I also, during this window, scheduled the only promotional email. I didn't do a big launch for this in the way you might do for a bigger offer. I absolutely could have done more. I could have sent out more emails. I could have done more intentional stuff, but my goal was to just get this out into the world as quickly as possible. So all I did was send one promotional email. And so in that same, by 12:30, I had scheduled the email, written it, and I really didn't worry about what the email said as far as like the best strategy. I just knew I wanted to tell a story. Why does this exist? Why did I create it? Why is it helpful? Here's the link. And one thing I think was really helpful was that I also invited people to share it with their friends. Because I know a lot of people who are already on my email list are already business owners. But even if they don't need this, they probably have people asking them for help just like I do. So I just kind of let the email flow out of me, didn't overanalyze it, didn't worry about following like the best sales email template or any of that. Just wrote an email and I told people why I thought it was helpful and invited them to share it with their friends and invited them to even join my affiliate program if they wanted to. So by 12:25 p.m., the course was actually for sale. And this is a low priced product. During the month of April, it was available for $33 off. So it was available for $44, and in May it went up to $77. But course went live right about 12:25 p.m. I know that specifically because I wrote a message to my team about it. So 12:25 p.m. it was live. 12:45 p.m. the email went out that I had already written. And by 1 p.m. I had affiliates, really sooner, but by 1 p.m. I had affiliates signing up. And since I use ThriveCart to collect payment, I didn't really have to do that much for affiliates. I love how easy ThriveCart makes affiliate stuff. So I just had to enable it and create the link that people could use to sign up to join the affiliate program. And I just gave it out. So I have friends who are business owners and clients who I knew could share this. So I just invited them to be affiliates and gave them the link to sign up. I'm in Mariah Cause's accelerator program. I gave them the link to sign up if they wanted to. And I don't have any fancy affiliate assets right now. There's one graphic that I was using myself that I gave them. And then the link. So we're keeping it real simple over here. But I knew that people would want to share this because they also could see the value in it. They have people asking them for this kind of stuff, and not everyone wants to teach this stuff. It's really nitty-gritty. There's a lot of questions that can come up when you're offering a program like this. And so I just thought maybe they would want to, and they did. So, email went out 12:45. Affiliates are signing up like crazy by 1 p.m. And then 1:45 p.m., the first sale came through. And yeah, that was it. So that is how I created a course and launched it and got the first sale within 27 hours. And a lot of that I was sleeping and not working. I could probably add up how much actual work time that took, but I haven't done that yet. So you can probably do that math yourself. But it was a really interesting experience. Again, I don't think you need to hold yourself to this standard of creating something this quickly, but a lot of the concepts of repurposing what you already have, of the way I'm using Loom to cut down on editing and perfectionism, and taking the time to really build out the plan before you start recording, all of those things are things I do even when I'm creating my highest level content. So I think that they're really valuable tips regardless of where you're at. And I think another thing worth noting is that I actually didn't involve my team in any of this, which is something I would never tell my client was okay. But I just knew it was one of those perfect circumstances where I had the time, I had the energy, the motivation to do this. My team was working on other projects, and I was the only one who didn't have tons of stuff to do that day besides starting something brand new. And I just felt like it was okay. I don't feel anything weird about it. I just want to be super transparent that this happened so quickly because I wasn't delegating it. If I was asking my team to set up some of this, I know it would have taken at least another day, which is totally fine. I normally would build that in. But since this was a little bit more off the cuff, last minute decision, really inspired action, I just did it all myself. And since I know how to do it all, I'm super tech stuff is my zone of genius. It's still enjoyable to do. So just wanted to be super transparent about that. That's how I did that. If you have any other questions about this process, feel free to send me a DM on Instagram. I'm always fascinated to learn what questions y'all have about things like this, because I learned a lot through it. So anyways, hope this was helpful. I hope it inspires you to take some imperfect, fast action. Not that you need to launch in a day, but how can you cut down on recording time for your new course? How can you ditch perfectionism? How can you just start showing up for your community and your audience without letting all that stuff slow you down? Hopefully this can give you some ideas. Thanks so much for listening. I do want to let you know that if you are interested in simple online business setup, you can go to meganmins.com/SOB. And you can, of course, share it with anyone that you think would benefit from that program. And if you want to be an affiliate, you can email my team at support@meganmins.com and we'll hook you up. And I do want to let you know as well, there is a free on-demand webinar all about how to achieve your goals, get things done faster while working less and having more fun. And you can go to meganmins.com/training to get access to that on-demand training right now. And I am opening up enrollment for my brand new high-level group coaching program. You'll get weekly coaching calls with me. I'll actually review your goals, your projects, help you grow your team, be a better leader, become a CEO who feels really confident in running and growing your business. A lot of us start our business because we're really passionate, but we don't necessarily want to run the business. We don't know how to run it. We don't know how to manage the operations and grow our team. And so I'm really excited to help CEOs in this brand new way. And you can find out all about it at meganmins.com/apply. I hope you like this episode. I will see you in the next one. Thank you for listening to the Productive Life Podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, it would mean so much to me if you would share your biggest takeaway on your Instagram stories or wherever you hang out. This helps me understand what you find the most helpful so that I can make more episodes and resources like this. If this podcast has helped you at all, please take just 1 minute to leave a review on iTunes so that we can help spread the word about the Productive Life Podcast with others who may enjoy it. And last but not least, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast to get the latest episodes sent to you directly. To learn how to work with me one-on-one or get instant access to freebies, trainings, templates, workshops, and more, be sure to go to meganmins.com right now. I'll see you in the next episode.